The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Reclining at table with his disciples, Jesus was deeply troubled, and he testified, "Amen, I say to you, one of you will betray me." His disciples looked at one another at a loss to whom he could mean. One of his disciples, the one whom Jesus loved, reclining close to Jesus. So Simon Peter nodded to him to find out whom he meant. He leaned back against Jesus' chest and he said to him, "Master, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I hand the morsel after I have dipped it." And so he dipped the morsel and he took it and he handed it to Judas, son of Simon Iscariot. After Judas took the morsel, Satan entered him. So Jesus said to him, "What you are going to do, do it quickly." None of those reclining at table knew what he had said to him. Some thought that since Judas kept the money bag, Jesus told him, "Go and buy something for the feast, or give something to the poor." So Judas took the morsel and he left at once. And it was night. When he had left, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and he will glorify him at once. I will be with you only a little while longer. You will look for me. As I told the Jews, where I am going, you cannot come. So now I say to you, you will look for me." But Simon Peter said to him, "Master, where are you going?" And Jesus answered, "Where I am going, you cannot come now, though you will follow me later." But Peter said to him, "Master, why can I not follow you now? I will lay down my life for you." And Jesus answered, "Will you lay down your life for me? And I say to you, the cock will not crow before you deny me 3 times. The Gospel of the Lord. Let me just spend a few moments here reflecting on this person, Judas Iscariot. He's a very important person in the whole narrative of the last week of Jesus' life. So let's look at Judas for a few moments. He's called Judas Iscariot, son of Simon the Iscariot. We're not sure exactly what Iscariot means. There's a very good biblical opinion that it means, Iscariot means man of Cariot. Now that would be important because Cariot was not in Galilee, it was in Samaria. And all the other disciples, they came from Galilee. They were fishermen, tax collectors, whatever. But they all came from an area we call Galilee. Cariot is a town in Samaria. That would mean, if that's a good opinion, that Judas was different from the others in that he came from a different place. And Judas is the one who betrayed Jesus. Now, there are 4 places where that's mentioned. It's mentioned in Mark's Gospel, but Mark gives us no reason why Judas betrayed Jesus. He just tells us he betrayed Jesus. Luke and John tell us Satan entered him in this gospel today. So he betrayed Jesus because Satan entered him. That's what John and Luke say. Matthew is different. Matthew tells us that he betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Now, why did Judas betray Jesus? That's a huge amount of commentary written on this. And some of it suggests that the reason he betrayed Jesus was he knew the power of Jesus, and he wanted him to express his divine power, which he would do if he betrayed him. Then he would overcome the whole Roman Empire settled here in Jerusalem. So it was a challenge. He wanted to bring the power of Jesus out. That's one opinion. The first chapter of the Acts of the Apostles tells us about Judas, and that's written by Luke. What happened to him? Only the first chapter of Acts of the Apostles and Matthew. Matthew says he had great remorse after he saw how Jesus was arrested. He had great remorse. Jesus did not exercise his great power. And Judas felt very, very sorry. And he went back to the temple. He threw back the 30 pieces of silver, and he went out, and Matthew's gospel says he hanged himself. The first book of Acts has a different story. They say that he gave back the money, and they purchased a field called Hakeldama, which means field of blood. And he had an accident there. He fell down and he died in an accident, and he's buried there. Now, all of this tells us whatever happened to Judas. Did Judas go to heaven? Well, he was remorseful. And the infinite love of God is infinite. So we have to believe that, in fact, Judas was redeemed by the infinite love of Jesus Christ. Now, that's important for us to keep in mind, because in the history of the church has never said, ever, that anyone went to hell. Never said that, no matter how bad a person might have been. So the infinite love of God embraces all people, even Judas. And I believe Judas is in heaven. He repented. His suicide was an act of ultimate desperation and ultimate despondency because of what he had done. Was he any worse than Peter, who looked in the face of Jesus and denied he knew him 3 times? So I want to redeem the person of Judas. Okay. So what do we learn from this? We learned about forgiveness. We learned about God's forgiveness. We learned about our own forgiveness. Now, no matter what you do, are you all listening to me here? Holy Family people here? Your parents love you. Hands up who has parents that love them. Wonderful. But they love you a lot. Now you can put your hands down. So no matter what you do, your parents would forgive you. Is that true? Your parents would always forgive you because your parents love you. No matter what you do, your teachers love you. Your teachers are going to love you no matter what happens. Now, they might have to correct you and they might have to teach you, but your teachers love you. That's very important. What does this say to us? It says we must love one another. Is there anybody that you shouldn't play with at recess? No, we should play with anybody. Is there anybody that hurt you that you have to forgive? Yes, we've all been hurt somewhere. So it's very important for us to learn from the example of Jesus and to forgive no matter what happens. Is that important? Is this very important? So what we're going to do today is we're going to look for a chance to tell somebody that you forgive them. Now, would that be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be a good thing to do during Holy Week. Is there somebody you would like to tell, I forgive you? Well, there you go. You do. You have somebody, and you have somebody to say, you know, you kind of neglected me, you hurt me, but I'd like to forgive you. That'd be fantastic. Well, that would make a special day, wouldn't it? I mean, that might change the whole class of whole community of Holy Family if we all began to forgive one another. Okay? So look for chances today to say something kind, to say something nice, to make a new friend at recess. Bring somebody along that isn't part of your group for recess. Is that okay? So we're going to be wonderful and forgiving, and we're going to be generous today. Oh my, the teachers, you're going to have a fantastic day at Holy Family School. It's going to be a wonderful day. Hands up, who's going to have a wonderful day? God, it's wonderful, fabulous. That's just, how good can it get? Okay, now we'll stand and pray for a few moments, okay?